My name is Posnami. You are welcome to this program. Before I move on, I will request that if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please go ahead and do it now, so that you will be one of the first to receive a notification anytime we upload a new video. There are two titles that are bigger than husband and wife in marriage. I didn't know this before I got married, but when I wrote the book, The Meaningful Marriage, the Lord helped me to have a deeper understanding of these two titles that are bigger than husband and wife in marriage. Maybe now you are wondering, what are the titles? There is something special about marriage. Many people do not understand. Many people think that marriage is for happiness, so they get married to be happy. And after getting married, they now discover that they were even probably happier before getting married. So the question many people may be asking out there is then, why do we have marriage? In one of my videos, I talked to you about the reason for marriage. And I also talked to you about the big picture, that the big picture for marriage is for us to glorify God. If you understand the purpose of life, which is to glorify God, you will understand the purpose of everything, the goal for everything that we are doing, the other activities. So I told you in that video that in Ephesians chapter 5, Paul describes marriage as an illustration of the relationship between Christ and the church. Just like the wife submits to her husband, that is how the church submits to Christ. Just like the man loves his wife, that's how Christ loves the church. So marriage is an illustration, of the relationship between Jesus and the church. And you have to also understand that marriage is the only thing on earth that is closer to Trinity. Let me explain. Mathematically, marriage is is not correct. Mathematically, two are not supposed to be one, three are not supposed to be one. But in Trinity, 3, 1, in marriage, 2, 1. Because when you get married, according to Jesus, you are no longer two, but you are one. So what are these two titles? Let me give you an example. I got married on the 2nd of January 1999. Before 2nd of January 1999, my wife's parents were nothing much to me. They were like any other parents out there. But after immediately I said, yes, I do, that marriage converted my family and my wife's family into one bigger family. Let me explain. My wife is a daughter to her parents. I am a son-in-law to my wife's parents, which means my wife is, since she's a daughter to her parents, and I am a son-in-law to her parents, which means my wife is also my sister. My wife is also my sister because her sister is my sister-in-law. Her brother is my brother-in-law. So you see, marriage converted two families into one big family. So the title here is this: my wife, beyond just being my wife, she is also my sister. In my family, I am a son to my parents. My wife is a daughter-in-law to my parents, which makes me her brother. You get my point. So these two titles, brother and sister, they are bigger than husband and wife in marriage. Let me explain why. Husband and wife titles are temporary things we only use here on earth, because in heaven there is no marriage. But when we get to heaven, maybe we are going to have the two titles of brother and sister. You can have, I love this saying, someone said it, you can have a former wife, you can have a former husband, but you can never have a former sister. You can never have a former brother. The more after marriage will take you from a different family, will take your spouse from a different family, bring you people together, and convert you into one big family. So this is exactly what marriage is doing to many people, but many people do not understand this. So my wife is not just my wife, she is also my sister. So the question is, can I have a former sister? Because the law of marriage is the one that has converted us. Immediately I accepted her as my wife, I became a son-in-law to her parents. You know, if I am a son-in-law to her parents and my wife is a daughter to her parents, that makes me her brother. So you have to understand marriage from this point of view. So my wife is an orphan because her father died, you know, her mother died. Recently I asked myself this question: who is my wife's father right now? Who is my wife's father? And I discovered that I am her father. I am her father because I am the man in her life now. And I love what Marsh Moreau said. He said, at the point of the wedding, the father handing over his daughter to you is not about handing his daughter to her husband only. It is handing his daughter to another father. So you see, marriage is beyond you. Marriage is beyond just the simple 1 + 1 that probably you're thinking. Marriage converts people into one big family. And these are the two titles. Your wife is not just a wife to you. Marriage has converted you into a bigger family. Because if you look at her brother, he is a brother-in-law to me. Her sister is a sister-in-law to me. So, which makes her my sister, because the beginning is the relationship I am having with her that qualifies her sisters to be my sisters-in-law, and her brother to be my brother-in-law. Is the marital relationship I'm having with her that converted her parents to my parents and converted my parents to her parents. So you see, your wife is not just your wife, she is also your sister. And don't forget this, you can have a former wife if you want to. There are many people who have divorced because that's their choice, you know, that's what they want to do. But remember, there are consequences. But no matter what you do, once you become married, marriage has converted you into a brother and a sister. And even if you send your spouse away, even if you send your wife away, don't forget this: you cannot kill these two titles, brother and sister. You can send her away and say, you are no longer my wife. Well, that's your choice. But you cannot kill the fact that once a sister, always a sister. Once a brother, always a brother. So don't forget these two titles. And don't forget that marriage is a temporary journey, but it can affect what is eternal. And don't forget that marriage is an illustration of the relationship between Christ and the church. And let me put it this way. In marriage, you, the husband, let's assume you are the pastor. The wife is the associate pastor. And if you have children, your children are the church members. Your marriage is illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church. Your marriage is bigger than you. The devil, someone says, is not attacking your marriage because of you. He's attacking your marriage because of what your marriage represents. God is building a bigger family, and you are part of it. Don't forget this, please. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you are yet to, and continue to love your wife as your sister, and continue to love your husband as your brother. Don't forget, your husband is a son-in-law to your parents, and you are a daughter to your parents, which makes him your brother. Don't forget, your wife is a daughter-in-law to your parents, and you are a son to your parents, which makes her your sister. Bye-bye.